Hello and welcome to What It Is. My name is Jordana, and here we talk about the entrepreneurial journey, the journey of self, the seeking to know thyself and understand the world on an energetic level and the universe on an energetic level so that we can learn how to master our energy and move through the world in a way that benefits the future that we are working to manifest. And so I read tarot, I read the runes, and I just, channel and allow what comes through to come through. So the way that I read the cards is mind, body, soul line, and past, present, and future. So in the past of the mind line, we have the Lovers. And because if I draw the Lovers, I like to know what the energy on either side of the Lovers is, I pulled the card from the bottom of the deck. So we have the Prince of Stones, the Lovers, Hanged Man, Princess of Wands across the mind line, Princess of Wands in reverse. So the Lovers to me is either the journey of love that you're experiencing, your romantic life, or it is the journey of unifying the two sides of yourself, or all the sides of yourself, but particularly the masculine and feminine energy. And we have the Lovers in the upright position. And on either side, we have the Prince of Stones and the Hanged Man. So certain patterns and certain foundational emotions have been set in place by your childhood, by your youth, by circumstances that then reaffirmed those inner child wounds. And our journey towards the self is always towards healing the self inside. It's always towards making that part of ourselves that feels the most vulnerable feel safe. And we do that by understanding that we are carrying a genetic lineage that is passed down to us through our ancestors. And so as seekers, we have the choice in this lifetime to choose differently, to break those cycles, and to heal those parts of ourselves so that we pass down to the next 7 generations a sense of greater healing and a sense of greater inner stability and foundation that aligns with creating a future consciously instead of living through the childhood wounds. Because we get all of these messages as children that we're being too loud, that we're too much. Our energy is too much. We're too emotional. We cry too much. We want too much. We need too much. And it's not the fault of our parents. They get these messages from their parents who got them from their parents. And depending on where you grew up or where they grew up, there can be a lot of trauma and a lot of disturbances in the past that create scarcity wounds and create inner child wounds of seeking and chasing and trying to fulfill that sense of emptiness within. When we truly have the choice to do that, when we let go of our attachment to those old stories, the hanged man in the present moment, that need to release oneself from adhering to those old belief systems, to let go and allow things to fall away so that you can be reborn. And we are reborn when we give ourselves the joy and the love and the fulfillment and the abundance that we seek. Then we can experience it in the present moment. The Princess of Wands is all about finding pleasure in life and allowing yourself to experience greater levels of pleasure. The food, the drink, the fabrics, the experiences that fill you with this sense of abundance and richness, that add color and texture and life to life, so that we're not just living inside of a box of our own limitations. We're setting ourselves free to enjoy. And when we have great visions, as entrepreneurs often do, right? We have this purpose that we've stepped into, this purpose work, and we have these dreams of creating legacy, the Prince of Stones, Prince of Pentacles, creating that legacy that gets passed down, that breaks the cycles and changes the course of the world forever. But we don't do that through working harder and struggling and setting ourselves to this grinding path. We do that by showing ourselves greater and greater amounts of unconditional love, compassion, understanding, and joy. When we treat ourselves to the richness of life and we allow ourselves that pleasure, we expand our ability to hold and to foster and protect the abundance that we're trying to create. Otherwise, we tend to slip back into the old mindsets too quickly, and those things start to fall away. In the body line, we have Four of Wands in reverse, perfection. Trying to hold on and control the situations, instead of just allowing things to be balanced and seeing through your limitations, your perceptions of limitation. Because when we let go of those old beliefs, we stop perceiving our reality in the same way. We stop reacting to our reality and we begin to observe it from a place of detachment, zooming out instead of feeling those visceral emotional responses in our body through perceptions that are coming from belief systems that we formed when we were 6 or 7. We're not within those same fight or flight instances, but we react to them the same way in the body until we release those things from our body and our nervous system. And we do that, again, by giving ourselves the emotional experience of happiness. 6 of Cups in the central position. This is what the present moment calls for. Finding the joy, finding the happiness, filling your own cup up, what gives you pleasure in life. That is how you create new beginnings. Ace of Cups in the future position of the body line. Finding that sense of rebirth in every day. Every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. We can heal and let go in every moment and find that place and that center place of stillness. With the Empress in the spirit line in the past position, that richness is essential. Giving yourself what you seek. If you're seeking great financial abundance, find ways to feel financially abundant now without breaking the bank. Put yourself in situations that make you feel abundant. Surround yourself with abundance. Go into beautiful rooms around people who have more than you so that you start to attune your nervous system and you start to attune your energy to having more, to abundance. If you want to change your life, you can't go in those same circles that you have always been in because they will hold you to a certain paradigm. So, with the Tower in the central position, that shows that need to let go. Let go of those old ways of holding the spirit hostage to how good life can get. That limitation that you put on everything. Capping yourself. I can only feel this much joy, and then it starts to feel scary. Then I want to go back to my frequency of dissatisfaction, discouragement, seeking, chasing, wanting. The universe can only give you what you are, who you are being, because then you're vibrating on the frequency of your desires. The universe matches you. It's a mirror. So if you're feeling like, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm good enough for my business to make $100,000 a month. I don't think I'm good enough to have to be $1 million CEO. I don't think my value is enough. I don't know if I'm worthy. Or if you're seeking a relationship or you want to be in a relationship, those past stories, I don't think I'm good enough for this. Am I good enough for them? Will they leave me and I'll go right back to where I was? All those fears that keep you stuck from experimenting, from trying, from moving forward. Those big dreams of what you want to create, and then that little voice comes in and says, I don't know. What if it doesn't work? What if you lose all your friends? What if you lose your community? What if people don't like you anymore? Baby, they're going to not like you no matter what. Some people are not going to like you whether you're in the gutter or you're hanging out with the stars. There's always going to be someone that has a problem with the way you live and doesn't like your energy. And that's okay. Let everybody have their individual experience and use them as a mirror to show you where you're not growing and where you need to grow. Because when we learn how to weigh our experiences with justice in the spirit, mind, and the future position, we learn to detach and we learn to look at things with an awareness. Where are things out of balance? Where am I still holding on to old beliefs? What do I need to let go of to let myself have this new experience? To forge a new path and lay a new foundation. King of Wands. In the general situation. How do I create a solid foundation that's going to hold everything that I'm calling in? Because you can call in great riches, and if you have a shaky foundation and you don't believe you're truly worth it, you will find a way to get rid of it. You'll borrow money to a friend. You'll spend a bunch of money that you don't really have. You'll put yourself back in debt. You'll sabotage your business. You'll sabotage your love life. We have to give ourselves the world to experience it. In the significator card, the world, the universe. We are the God within, and we create our reality from within. So when you have the sense of presence and you're able to empty yourself, to come to that place of stillness within through meditation, through breath work, through finding presence, being in nature, allowing your spirit to harmonize and to be open to new experiences, to spiral upwards into the experiences that you want to have. Rather than trying to spiral down and to examine and to fester and to cling and attach, picking at things. Oh, if only I can figure it out. Staying stuck in the mind, keeping emotions stuck in the body. We need to move. We need to set our spirit free to have the fullness of experience. Because the mind has limitations, and the body is going to hold on to those feelings, those old energies, which then send that energetic signature out. Because you can say all the affirmations you want, but if you don't feel it in the body, you're still sending out that subconscious frequency of lack. That's why affirmations alone don't work. That's why scripting alone doesn't work. That's why thinking your way out of the problem doesn't work. You have to take action. You have to move. You have to move your body and let those emotions go. Dance, run, exercise, purify, sit in the sun, take salt baths, swim, make love, live outside of your box. You know, and we have a situation right now in this world where we're all tuning in to these boxes that are feeding us algorithmically more and more of what the algorithm thinks we want to experience. But what's crazy, and I was talking about this with a friend last night, is the way that it comes. You'll see one thing and, oh, I like food. I like this recipe. This is so interesting. Oh my God, look at this piece of fashion. Oh, wow, look at this affirmation. Look at this. Everything is coming to you so quickly, and it's all kind of unrelated. Maybe related to what you like, but different things, so that your mind just is constantly fragmenting, seeking, jumping from one thing to the next. So you don't have that discipline and that inner discipline that it takes to sit still and to allow your mind to be still and to gently allow the things to come up from your own mind, not looking outside of yourself into a device saying, what do I need to work on? What is the next thing I need to see? What is the next thing that's going to make me happy? Go within. Seek within. Let's get into the runes and see what they say, because they always reflect the same story that the cards are telling. They just give it in a little bit of a different way. And so I read the runic cross, and I read from the Ralph Bloom book, and I've had this book passed down to me, and it is so wonderful to use as a reference to self-determine where I need to work and what work needs to be done and how I can use my energy to create the future and the reality that I want to see. And so the runic cross is you in the present position, past, future, the basis of the reading, the challenges, and the best outcome. So right away, in the position of you, we have Thurisaz. And I partially read out of the book and partially just channel because I'm still learning these. So Thurisaz is the gateway, the place of non-action. It's like that place where you prepare before you take the step. Because that inner preparation, that inner foundation that is created through the preparation is what will sustain you and support your vision. And so with it in the reverse, there's a quickening. The tower has fallen and things are changing. And even when things are changing at such a rapid pace, there is a need to pause along the way to integrate. We can't always be creating and producing. We can't always be consuming. Sometimes we just need to process and be still. So this also asks us to look at our attitude during the process, because not every day is going to feel like a win. Not every day is going to feel like you've made progress in your business, or you've made progress in your personal life, or your dreams towards your goals. Not every day is going to feel like that. But training yourself to look at the minutia and to appreciate it and feel gratitude for it. Those little wins build on top of each other. So recognize all of them. If it's finding a penny on the ground, you found more abundance. You called abundance into your life. I have a funny story. And this is how we manifest. We call it in. We say, I'm going to find money. I am manifesting money right now. The other day I was taking a walk and I decided I was going to manifest money on the ground. And I visualized a penny right then. And sure enough, that's what I found, right? And I was like, wow, I should have asked for more because I found the penny right away. And I wasn't looking at that point. It's just, it comes, you let go, you detach. This is what I want. It's coming. I know it. I don't need to think about it anymore. It's on its way. And then, of course, I found it. And then, jokingly, I was saying to myself, I should have said, I'm going to find $100 bill. So I was driving down the road, down the street, and what do I see but a bunch of $100 bills floating around in the middle of the street. They were prop money. But just having that money show up so abundantly shows you how quickly you can have something materialize into your reality when you let go of how it happens and how it comes. Because on a real level, money is just paper, right? So that was just paper, but it symbolizes the universe, ready to give you the blessings, ready to give you what you want if you just open yourself up to it. And being open to things means not choosing to suffer for the sake of suffering. We decide to suffer. Pain is real, and pain is part of every life. But suffering is a choice. suffering is a choice. Because we can look at pain and say, how is that pain teaching me? How is that pain growing me? How is that pain helping me become more of who I want to be? More of myself, more true to myself, more authentic, more me. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks me. I know where I'm headed, and I know what I want to create in my life. Excuse my French. And Lagu's in the past position, teaching you how to flow, how to move through life with a sense of ease, instead of clinging to certain outcomes, clinging to certain things showing up at a certain time in a certain way. Life is going to life, and you have to let it life, because you might be suppressing the very blessings that you want to call in because of your beliefs having limitations set on them, governing yourself to a certain level of happiness. This or something better. We don't even know how good it can get. Universe, show me how good it can get. This or better. I want this or better, because I might not know yet. And so that's trusting in that unseen, trusting in the universe, those unseen powers, the fluidity to ride out the tides of emotion, the ebbs and the flows of life, without having to go to that justice, without having to evaluate it, just trusting that things are going to balance. Because you are always seeking in your own intuition, in your own internal knowing, how you come to that place of oneness within, the lovers, conjunctio, the sacred marriage, that unification of the masculine and the feminine energies within, the self-discipline to govern oneself, to allow oneself to expand, to allow oneself to receive more, to create more, to fulfill your dreams on a deeper level, to live happily ever after, because you allowed yourself to go forward into what you want. And accepting that the change is going to be constant. Things are never, you're not going to reach a new level and it's just going to plateau for the rest of your life and it's always going to be good. No. And that's where those pauses become so important. Because when you pause and integrate the level that you just rose to, you raise your baseline level. You start to raise your tolerance to have more. You start to raise your vibration, and you can't go back to that old frequency. You just hold yourself to that new standard, and then you expand beyond that and raise your standards again and again and again until you're vibrating in your most desired reality, experiencing it within, and then the universe can't help but give it to you, because thought creates reality. And your awareness and your focus on the things that you want begin to slow down those wave patterns and allow the particles to solidify into the three-dimensional reality. And understanding that it's a season. We start to vision out our future, and then there's a season. There's a period of growth that happens. We plant the seeds with our thoughts and our dreams, and then we have to nurture that garden. We have to allow for the season to pass before we can harvest. And that conviction that the harvest is coming, that conviction that we're going to go through this season and everything is coming through to fruition, that conviction is what will get you through that season. And in the base of this reading position, the foundation is Perth. Perth in reverse. A counsel against expecting too much or expecting things to come in an ordinary way. You simply cannot continue to repeat the past and expect that you're going to have a new future. You can't be the same person in your new life as you've been up until this point. You have to let it go. You have to let the tower fall. You have to collapse those old paradigms. Because that is how you call your energy back to yourself. You call your power back. You defragmentize yourself and come to, I don't know if that's a word, but you come to that central position. I am good within. I am balanced and harmonious. I've created that sense of protection because the challenge is the conviction. In the challenge position of this reading, algaes, protection. Protecting your energy, your mindset, your spirit, your body from within. Learning how to master your energy and your emotions so that you don't collapse yourself into either the highs or the lows. All the lows will pass, pain passes, joy passes. And when we get too attached to either end of the spectrum, we're no longer neutral. Joy and pain are on the same vibration, they're just different polar opposites. And as you go higher, as you go towards joy, you vibrate at a higher rate, higher frequency. And as you go towards pain, your vibration starts to slow down. You move into a lower frequency. And sorrow teaches us. Loss teaches us, and nature abhors a vacuum. So you trust that you will be filled. Nature will come in and fill the space. Whether you lose money, relationships, people, places, things, you will be replenished. That is inevitable. As long as you keep that open communication open with yourself and the universe, tapping in, allowing yourself to have a practice that supports your vision so that you are constantly leading yourself towards what you want, communicating with your inner world, Rado in the best outcome, connection, communication, reunion is the inevitable outcome. Reunion with yourself, self-actualization, reaching and coming to a new place of wholeness within yourself, and then reaching for a new level, and then coming to a new place of wholeness within yourself. It's part of the healing process. We heal those old wounds by giving ourselves the experiences that we think that we are not worthy of. If you think you're not worthy of having a great relationship, take yourself out. Give yourself gifts. Treat yourself how you want to be treated in a relationship. Fill yourself with that love so that you are pouring from a full cup. You're not expecting another person to fill you up. And you're not pushing them away because you're afraid that they're going to deplete you. You are full. And when you are full, you attract other full people. Like attracts like. So if you want a partner that is full of their own energy and balanced and harmonious, be that balance. Be that harmony. If you want more money, you want your business to grow, be that growth. Be that abundance. Show the universe how abundant you are. And it can be in very small ways. Give. Give your time, give your money, give your love, give your attention to people. Give what you wish to receive without the expectation of how it comes back. Because reciprocity is a law of the universe, the law of correspondence. What you give, you shall receive, but it may not come from the same space that you give it to. If you give money to a homeless person, they're probably not going to come find you and give you money. Unless you're homeless yourself. Homeless people share a lot. It's the people that have the least that share the most, I have found. And give without a need for reciprocity, give without a need for a certain outcome, not giving conditionally, just giving. That's abundance. So turning to the teacher within, asking yourself from a judicious place, if I am the cause and my reality is the effect of my thoughts and my emotions, where do I need to shift? Where do I need to grow myself? Where do I need to bolster myself? Where do I need to reinforce my own foundations, my own inner harmony? Where do I need to attune myself to having more? Because that's how we change. That's how we grow. And that's how we shift paradigms. And with that, my dears, it seems to really just naturally hit the 30-minute mark. So I think YouTube loves that. And thank you for being with me on this journey. You know, I'm just starting out. This is my 10th episode. And so I'm still learning what works and what doesn't work for me. And I love your feedback. So please, you know, what stands out to you in this reading? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to hear more of. Let me know what resonates and what doesn't resonate. And, you know, talk to me. Let's communicate. Let's make this a space that's a community, that feels like a community, where people's opinions and thoughts and words matter. And I want to hear from you. And if you'd like to have a bit more of a solo journey with some of the same themes that I've been talking about today, archetypes, identity, energy, communication with oneself, self-actualization, the journey to know thyself, I have created an 11-day experience, self-guided, but there's a bit guided by me. There's some audio, there's some meditations, and there's a book you can follow to help you along the way. And it's just a culmination of my last 20 years of studying manifestation, practically, and energy work. And the link for it is in the comments. Feel free to grab it, and I look forward to hearing what you think about it and to seeing you along the journey. And thank you for being here. Much love.